Well, Cancer, get a load of your horoscope this month. Check it out. Look at all of this powerful energy in this eighth house with retrograde Mercury starting the ball rolling. The eighth house is your shared resources. Let's start this rolling. Pardon me. Notice here the supportive aspects of the blue lines with the triangle. They're trine aspects. The red squares are the challenges here. So you've got a bit of a mixture here going on around the first and the second. This 11th house is the profit you make, the friendships you make. 8th house is the money and the resources that you share. It's also a sexual house. And that makes sense too, because you're sharing a different resource, what I call an elegant currency, in terms of your intimacy, your love, and your personal space. So a lot of these parts of your life are being brought up now. And the 8th house is a hidden house. It's one of the most complicated houses of the zodiac. And for you, Cancer, it means that this period of your life, these transits, are especially sensitive. And if you use this retrograde Mercury now as it's coming across all of these planets, the Sun, which rules your finances, Jupiter, which rules your education and your legal matters, Venus, which is ruling your domestic sphere, Saturn, which is ruling your marital life, and this 8th house of shared resources. All of these aspects of your life are here being reevaluated in a very, very deep and hopefully meaningful way. Notice here on the 10th, the moon making its way here. It's going to slow you down a little bit with Saturn. Saturn and Venus are separating now. That could have been a problem with your relationships. Venus is the natural planet of love. Saturn is the ruler of your marital sector. Then it makes contact with the Sun, which is your finances. And so it's around that time, around the 12th, 13th of the new moon, as you see as well, taking place here in terms of the fresh approach to the way you deal with other people, the way you deal with money, learning to say no, or asking for what you believe you are worth. I've met so many people who just feel so embarrassed about asking to be paid. Oh, I couldn't ask them. They're so guilty about it that they, end up spending twice as much time with the client. I just said, look, have your fee structure, do a fantastic job, and hold your head high when you ask for the money or you invoice the person. That may be the case here as well, as the moon is transiting here in your career sector after this new moon. It's a fresh moon that's going to throw a new light on different things, such as your legal matters, travel plans, your career, and then here, the sudden connection, the sudden output of energy from Uranus and Mars here. There's the midpoint there around the 19th, which can trigger disputes and arguments with friends and co-workers. And then naturally when it hits that 12th house on the 20th, you're going to need a bit of rest, I think. Some unusual dreams may take place there as the moon makes contact with the node. Node is what we call Rahu. It's a shadowy planet. It really excites your desire nature. Being in the 12th house, they may be desires that you don't want to share with anyone. Secret desires, secret aspirations that you have. That's likely because you've got this 11th house of aspirations also powerfully marked here by Mars and Uranus. Isn't it nice that Mars, however, has quickly moved away from the conjunction with Uranus, and at the same time Jupiter, which created that great conjunction that we saw in December, here in your 8th house, is also moving away. So that's a good omen, as is the transit of the Sun out of that 8th house into the 9th house around the 19th and 20th. There you see on the 26th, Venus also relieving you of a little bit of the tension there in that 8th house. Finance matters are strongly in the picture there while the moon transits there. And then the full moon on the 28th, I think, is quite pertinent because it's a contractual area, it's a communications area, and it is your ruler. And so actually the end of the month should as the month proceeds, that last few days of the month should see you getting a lot more energy, a lot more drive, a lot more curiosity and desire to travel around too, because this third house is travels. Take a look at what I've written up there for the month. We've got the chronological transits, which will fill in all the gaps that I haven't mentioned here. The yearly reading is a good idea, because then you can get each month, as I'm predicting, in the context of where it's all going over the coming months. There's a subscribe button below. It'd be nice if you could leave that with us. Just hit the button. And if you want a personal reading, I'm here. I'd love to do a personal reading for you and see where you are in your journey, in your karmic path, and what's happening, and what you can do, most importantly, to remediate any of those difficult aspects. There are things we can do. I look forward to hearing from you, and I'll see you again next month, Cancer. Bye-bye.